The rain won't stop, on the hardest day of this girl's life. Mom, where are you going? Don't leave me alone. She's begging for a different ending, but the coffin stays exactly where it is. Marone watches from under her umbrella. She doesn't say a word. What a tragedy. Everyone sees the pain, but nobody moves to help her. The crowd is whispering about the young mother, taken too soon. It's a tragic scene, but the gossip turns to the carriage accident. They say the crash was absolutely horrific. The body was mangled beyond any recognition. Yet one detail doesn't make sense. Only one person walked away from that wreckage. Marone was right there with her sister, but she came back without a scratch. It's more than strange. It's impossible. How did she survive when everyone else was torn apart? The whispers are getting louder now. They're starting to look at her differently, and Marone can hear every single word. Marone grips her umbrella tighter than ever. She's making a promise to her sister Marie. I would never do that to you. Never. But the silence is broken. Aunt Clycie is standing right there. Marone, the voice is shaky. It's like she's seen something she shouldn't. Aunt Clycie starts tripping over her words. She's trying to explain herself. I mean, she can't even finish a sentence. The grief was heavy, but now there's something else in the air. What is she so afraid of? The little girl clings to Marone's dress, like it's the only thing keeping her grounded. Auntie, you won't leave me, like she did, right? She's looking for her mother's shadow in the woman standing before her. Will you stay by my side forever? The rain keeps falling as Marone looks down. The weight of that question is heavier than the storm. Finally, she speaks. Yes, I won't leave you. Auntie will stay right here with Marone. I'll stay with you. It's a vow made in the middle of a funeral. But in this world, promises like that always come with a massive price. Marone, small, beautiful, my precious, lovely niece. That's the girl everyone remembers, the one who held hands and made promises. But something changed. What on earth happened to that little girl? Where did she go? The memory fades into a nightmare, a cliffside, a storm, and a hand slipping. The girl from the past is nowhere to be found. I'm sorry, Auntie. The apology rings out against the rain, but some things can't be fixed with a simple sorry. The girl she was is officially dead. So who is standing here now? I'm sorry, Auntie. I'm so sorry. Aunt Clycie is scrambling for excuses. She says there was nothing she could do, but Marone isn't buying the act. She remembers everything. Didn't you say it yourself, Auntie? That next time you should marry the best man in the world? The room goes cold. Aunt Clycie can't deny those words. Yes, I did, but Marone isn't finished yet. She's just getting to the point. Those words didn't mean you should steal my husband. The mask is starting to slip. The precious niece is gone. Marone, even if you were cruel to me, you were still my family. And yet, you did it anyway. You didn't just take a man. You tried to steal my husband and my entire life. The apology is over. Now, it's time to pay the bill. You went as far as to turn back time. Marone drops the truth like a lead weight. The betrayal wasn't just a moment. It was a rewrite of history itself. Aunt Clycie doesn't even deny it. I had no choice. She's done playing the victim. I want to be happy, and I'm never giving that up. She looks at Marone with pure resentment. You've already lived a happy life once. The grand house, the perfect husband. You've enjoyed every luxury. In her mind, Marone has had more than enough. So, in this life, Auntie, it's your turn to step aside. The audacity is thick in the air. She wants Marone to just vanish. Marone stays silent for a long moment. Then, she looks up. Fine. The tension breaks, but only for a second, because Marone isn't giving up for free. Instead, in exchange, trade your husband for mine. The deal is struck. But in a world where time can be bought and sold, nobody wins without losing their soul. What is that supposed to mean? Aunt Clycie is completely blindsided. She thought she had the upper hand, but Marone is just getting started. I'll give you my husband, since you wanted him so badly. The offer sounds like a gift, but it's actually a death sentence, because in exchange, your husband, in this life, will be mine. The room goes silent. The trade is official. Marone is taking everything back. Have you lost your mind, Auntie? Clycie is screaming now. The panic is finally setting in. Take that back. Take it back. But Marone doesn't even look back. She's already moving on to the next move. You're insane. Stop right there. Marone doesn't stop. She doesn't have to. This is a fight. You started. And now. The consequences are hitting home. Clycie hits the floor, realizing too late, she didn't just steal a life. She just invited a monster into her own. You husband thief. Aunt Clycie is screaming at the walls. She's lost her dignity, and she knows it. But Marone doesn't even flinch. The insults don't reach her anymore. She's already halfway out the door. There's no turning back. The decision is made. The past is dead. Just watch, Marone. Clycie is still trying to win. She thinks she can succeed where Marone failed. That marriage you messed up so badly. I'm going to make it perfect. Marone hears it all, but she keeps walking. The sound of her heels is the only answer. She reaches for the handle. The light from outside is blinding. The door swings open. The old life is over. And the real game? It's only just begun. I am going to make it absolutely perfect. The words aren't just a promise. They're a threat. Marone stands in the center of a new beginning. The light is finally on her. She's done being the background character in someone else's twisted story. Everything she lost, everything that was stolen from her, she's taking it all back. But this time, she won't leave anything to chance. No mistakes, no mercy. The stage is set. The players are in position. And Marone? She's ready to rewrite the ending. Just wait and see. The bells are finally ringing. The whole city knows it's the wedding of the year. The music is perfect. The guests are all buzzing with excitement for the couple. Everything is ready for her. But look at Clycie. She's staring at the mirror. In that beautiful white dress, she doesn't look like a happy bride at all. What is she actually thinking? Someone interrupts her silence. It's Dernick. He's all dressed up and ready for the altar. He admits he's actually shaking more than expected. He just needed to see her face to calm down. And honestly, it seems to be working. Clycie can't help but smile. It's hard to imagine a man like him ever losing his cool. But he's being serious. Standing before hundreds to make a lifelong vow? That's enough to make anyone feel like collapsing. The pressure is finally real. Dernick notices how calm she is. He thinks she's just brave. But he's wrong. I'm not nervous at all. Because for me, this isn't my first wedding. In another life, there was someone else. The man I called my perfect husband. But he was left behind long ago in the past. Dernick sees her drifting away. He can tell her mind is somewhere else entirely. Now that the moment is here, he's starting to wonder, is she having second thoughts? He has no idea. He's competing with a ghost. Clycie shuts down his doubts. She tells him straight up that her entire life changed the moment they met. Dernick is completely overwhelmed. He thinks he's the luckiest man to marry someone so pure, a wife with a heart as beautiful as her soul. He's buying every word. But Clycie knows the truth. It's true that everything started with this man, but this isn't a romance. It's a calculation. Outside the room, the whispers are already starting. Did she really do it? Did she actually kill her own sister? The guests are terrified, because word is, she's showing up today, and the real story is only just beginning. The gossip is brutal. They're calling her a witch, a woman who committed a horrific crime, and walked away free. They say she's shameless, hiding in the capital, and pretending to be just another socialite. They warn each other not to even bump into her, but they have no idea. She's standing right there, and she can hear every single word. People are the same, no matter where you go, always whispering, always judging. She moved here to escape the noise. Her friend Florence promised the capital was big enough to start over, a place where no one would know her face. But the plan is failing. At this rate, she'll be an outcast here too. She's running out of time. There's only one way out. She has to get married, and she has to do it this year, because there's a clause in the inheritance law, a godforsaken rule that changes everything. The law is simple. No husband, no inheritance, only a married child can claim the family estate. Her parents are diplomats. Her father is a count. There is a massive fortune just sitting there, waiting for her. But without a wedding ring, it's all a pipe dream. She'll spend her life with absolutely nothing. Just as she's spiraling, a voice cuts through. Someone noticed her, standing all alone. It's Albert. He's handsome, he's charming, and he's from a family of counts. He's been watching her from across the room, debating whether to make his move. And now, he's asking for a dance. Is this the miracle she's been looking for? Or is he watching her for a different reason? Albert isn't wasting time. He takes her hand and asks for a date right then and there. Clycie can't believe it. She's actually stunned. This is more than just a stroke of luck. He's got the face, he's got the title, and best of all, he has no idea about the rumors. To him, she isn't a witch, she's just a beautiful woman. At a party, she's internally thanking her friend Florence. The plan actually worked. The capital really is a fresh start. Albert suddenly pauses. He realizes he's being a bit too forward. He doesn't even know her name yet. He asks if it's rude to finally find out who she is. Clycie gives him her best smile. The trap is set, and she's ready to introduce herself. The perfect moment just went up in smoke. A loud voice shatters the romance. Auntie Clycie. Albert is frozen. He was expecting a name, not a family title. He can't believe what he's hearing. Clycie's heart sinks. She knows that voice. She's here. Before she can react, a blonde whirlwind tackles her. The little brat actually found her. Clycie starts complaining for the whole room to hear. She's been looking everywhere. She's bored, and she's offended. She wasn't invited. Clycie is fuming. This has to be Florence's doing. Her friend just sent a social grenade right into her lap. Albert is just standing there, watching the chaos. The mysterious woman is suddenly a babysitter. And the look on the girl's face? She knows exactly what she just ruined. The niece is moving in for the kill. She asks Clycie who the handsome guy is. With a fake little smile, Albert is totally thrown. He stammers out his name, trying to play it cool, but the damage is done. He looks at Clycie like she's a different person. He didn't realize she had a grown niece. He thinks he's been disrespectful to an elder. Marone plays it perfectly. She says it's fine. It happens all the time, because her auntie looks so young for her age. Clycie is screaming inside. Here we go again. The classic tactic to make her seem ancient. There's only a 5-year gap between them, but Albert is already hooked. He's charmed by the niece, and the romance with Clycie is officially dead. Fine, you win again, Marone. You can have this one too. Clycie realizes her life is being ruined by two things: the imperial law and her adorable niece. The hunt for a husband just got a lot harder, and her biggest enemy is standing right next to her. The night is over. Before it even started, Clycie retreats to her carriage, calling it quits. Redon is surprised to see her back so soon, but Clycie is done. She tells him to just take her home. She's exhausted. Marone crashed the party and ruined the vibe. Redon can only sigh as the carriage pulls away. Redon admits the girl is really something, even if she loves her aunt. Showing up unannounced is crossing a line. Clycie is beyond frustrated. She's convinced she'll never get married as long as Marone is around. Redon knows the history. Ever since the girl lost her mother, she's been following Clycie like a shadow. It's sweet that they're close, but it's becoming a problem. She's too dependent. And then Redon drops the cold truth. He reminds her that she isn't Lady Marie, she's Lady Clycie, and this little family drama is putting her whole secret identity at risk. 9 years ago, the world fell apart. Marone's mother died. She was Marie, Clycie's eldest sister, the person she loved more than anyone. Marie was like a mother. She took care of Clycie when their parents were too busy. They used to go on trips together, just the two of them, until the accident, a carriage crash, out of nowhere. It was truly strange. In that horrific wreck, nobody else survived, not a single soul, except for Clycie, a 16-year-old girl, who walked away, completely unscathed. The rumors started fast. People couldn't explain how she survived, while everyone else died, and just like that, the grieving sister became something else. In the eyes of the world, Clycie was the murderer who killed her own sister. She didn't just lose her family, she lost her soul to a lie she can't escape. Clycie is drained. She just wants this night to end. Maybe something sweet will make her feel better. She calls out to Redon. She's wondering if any dessert shops are still open, but there's no answer. Just the sound of the wheels hitting the road. She tries again. Redon, did you hear me? She looks at his silhouette through the glass. He's not moving. Then a voice repeats her words. A dessert shop? It's not Redon. Suddenly the carriage jolts violently. Clycie is thrown against the seat. She screams for Redon to wake up and pull it together, but it's too late. A strange voice sighs from the dark, like he's disappointed. Clycie realizes the terrifying truth. Redon isn't driving. There's someone else inside the carriage, and she's trapped with a stranger in the middle of the night. The stranger doesn't hide in the shadows anymore. He stands right over her, looming like a nightmare. Clycie looks up, and the world stops. The hood falls back to reveal a face she knows too well. It's Jishin, but he doesn't look like the commander. She remembers. There's fresh blood splattered across his face. He's cold, he's silent, and he's the one who took the reins. Clycie is frozen. The man who is supposed to uphold the law, just hijacked her carriage. She's trapped in the dark, with a man, who clearly just killed to get to her. Now the real question is, what does he want, and how far is he willing to go? He thought the carriage was his lucky escape, but there was already someone hiding inside. Dernick didn't expect to see her there, and Clycie definitely didn't expect a stranger, covered in blood. She didn't even wait for an explanation. Thief, her voice cut through the quiet night. The coachman panicked as the horses bolted. Everything turned into complete and total chaos. Clycie started screaming at the top of her lungs. Dernick tried to stop her, but it was too late. Whoa, wait a second. He lost his balance as the carriage lurched. This plan just went completely off the rails. Clycie isn't just screaming, she's fighting back. Help, is anyone there? She starts throwing everything within arm's reach. Dernick is dodging bottles and heavy books. Lady, please stop throwing. He's just trying to keep his head intact. But she isn't finished. She reaches into her bag and pulls out a dagger. Is that a handbag or a weapon shop? She's ready to jump from the moving carriage. Get off right now. Dernick tries to warn her about the dangerous speed, but she doesn't care. She swings the blade with everything she has. Dernick finally moves in to grab her wrist. Calm down, lady. That's way too dangerous. He's holding her back before someone gets gutted. But Clycie is furious. You hijacked my carriage. You killed my driver. Dernick can only shout back. I told you already. I didn't kill him. The misunderstanding is deep, and the carriage is still flying through the dark. I only knocked him out. Dernick points to the driver, who is actually just snoring. See? He's perfectly fine. He'll be awake soon. But Clycie isn't buying it. She demands his name and his official rank. State your name this instant. She's not backing down. Dernick reaches into his cloak. I'm a knight of the guard. He pulls out an ID, covered in fresh blood. I had to stop you for an urgent mission. Clycie reads the name. Vice Commander Jishin Hyad. The badge looks real enough. Is he actually a guard? She can't believe her eyes. Dernick leans in close. See? I told you. I'm not a bad guy. He's got a bloody face and a stolen name. Clycie is still frozen. I see. Now just back away. She's safe for now. But something feels very wrong. The argument ends instantly. An arrow whistles through the dark carriage. It misses his head by just a few inches. Clycie screams in terror. The carriage screeches to a sudden halt. Dernick looks toward the trees. I think it's around here. He doesn't hesitate. Stay in the carriage. I'll be right back. He jumps out and disappears into the woods. Wait, where are you going? Clycie is left alone with an unconscious driver and an assassin nearby. In this situation, you want me to wait? She watches him run into the pitch-black forest. Are you insane? He just left her as a sitting duck. Now she's truly alone. Clycie isn't waiting around. She shakes Redon awake with everything she has. Redon, get up, quickly, hurry. The driver finally snaps to Lady Clycie. She doesn't give him a second to breathe. Drive the carriage, now, right this instant. The wheels start spinning. They disappear into the night before the killer returns. Clycie made her choice. She's not a sitting duck. Meanwhile, back at the estate, a figure returns alone. It's Jishin. Damn it, I lost them again. He's covered in dust and pure frustration. That lady took off and ruined everything. What a total waste of my time. He reaches for the door with a heavy grip. He isn't doing this for the thrill. I'm doing this for my sister's sake. The mission just got a lot more personal. Dernick sneaks back home. I have to find a lead immediately. He slips through the door, hoping for some peace, but he isn't alone. Jishin, the commander, is waiting right in the middle of the dark room. Dernick tries to play cool. What are you doing here at this hour? Jishin doesn't move. Don't you know why? He steps forward and grabs Dernick's collar. My ID, the one you stole. Hand it over. Now. Dernick's heart drops. Oh, that? He remembers the carriage. He remembers the lady. Oh no. I gave it to her. He handed his only leverage to Clycie, and now the real owner is losing his patience. Sorry, I lost it. Dernick drops the bomb and prays for mercy. Jishin looks like he's about to snap. Wait, just hear me out. Dernick starts babbling to save his life. Why is everyone I know so incredibly angry? He tells a wild story about a weapons dealer, a lady who pulls blades right out of her handbag. She's the one who took your ID. He plays the victim. She threatened poor, fragile me and robbed me. Well, technically, I showed it to her first. Dernick begs for silence. Don't tell my family. I messed up again. I'll check the guest list from the Leighton party. But Jishin is done. Forget it. I can't trust you with my belongings. He turns away with a cold stare. If he wants it back, he has to find this mystery woman himself. Jishin is done waiting. I'll find them myself. He's officially on the hunt. while he's out there. Clycie is finally safe. She sinks into the water, with a long sigh. Phew. Her maid checks in. Is the water alright? It's perfect. Clycie finally feels human, after that nightmare. I really thought I was a goner. But as she relaxes, her mind starts racing. That man's name, Jishin Hyad, was it? She remembers the ID she snatched from him. Something doesn't add up. The name and the job don't fit him at all. He's way too wild to be a palace guard. Would a real guard hijack a bloody carriage in the dead of night? She knows he's lying, and now she has his biggest secret. The memory still haunts her. I never want to go through that again. A carriage accident is a living nightmare. But the peace doesn't last long. Lady Clycie. Anna bursts in, screaming her name. What's the matter? Clycie steps out, trying to stay calm, but Anna is panicking. It's a disaster. The palace guard is here for you. They've come to make an arrest. Clycie can't believe it. What? They're looking for a party guest. Someone from last night. The description matches you perfectly, my lady. Anna is desperate to know the truth. Did something happen? Clycie doesn't hesitate. Nothing happened. She's sticking to her story. But the guards aren't going away. Clycie finally confesses. I just threatened a guard a little, and maybe ran off with his ID. Anna is terrified. Oh heavens, it's a misunderstanding. Clycie tries to explain, but it's too late. The palace guard doesn't care about excuses. If they catch you, you're done for. People disappear for years because of them. Anna makes a choice. I'll buy you time. Jump out the window and run for help. Wait, Anna. Clycie can't believe this is happening. This is so unfair. I was going to give it back. She's heard the stories. The guard loves tormenting the nobility. The rumors are true. She reaches for the ledge. There's no other way. She climbs out into the cold air. One slip, and it's all over. Clycie is hanging on for dear life. I shouldn't have gone home so early. What a mess. She's already planning her revenge. That Jishin guy. Next time I see him, I'm going to. But her hand slips. The ledge is gone. She's falling. Kaya. The ground is coming fast. Until someone catches her. A pair of arms breaks her fall. I didn't expect you to fall from the sky. The voice is playful. You really do exceed my expectations. Clycie is still shaken. She looks up, expecting a familiar face. Jishin? But it's not him. Standing there, with a perfect smile, is Dernik, the one man she didn't want to see like this. Now he's got her right where he wants. Dernik just laughs. Sorry, but that's not my name. Clycie is frozen. If he's not Jishin, then who is? Dernik looks over at the man holding her. Jishin, this is her. The lady who took your ID. Clycie's heart stops. What? The pieces finally fall into place. The man she robbed. The one she's been running from. He's been holding her this whole time. Then the real Jishin Hyad is this man. She's not just caught. She's in the arms of the very man she threatened. And he doesn't look like he's forgiving her. Wait, if he's standing here, then who was the man from before? The realization hits hard. This man is the real Jishin Hyad. He doesn't miss a beat. He confirms his rank as the vice commander and asks if she's Lady Clycie. She can barely answer. The situation is a mess. She's being carried by the very man she was investigating. She tries to fake a childhood leg injury just to get away. She promises to return his ID card immediately if he just puts her back down. But Jishin isn't moving. He just says no, and he's not letting go. Jishin isn't interested in her excuses. He decides it's faster to just carry her. Clycie is completely lost in the moment. Is this a dream? Being carried by a man this good looking? But the mood breaks the second Dernik opens his mouth. He wants to know why she decided to dive out a window. He's actually joking that she would've hit the ground hard without them. Clycie isn't having it. She blames them for barging in and scaring her. Who waits around for a man covered in blood to return? She was just trying to survive. The bickering stops the moment they reach the house, because standing there is her aunt, and she's seeing everything. This just went from a rescue to a total scandal. The romantic moment is officially over. Marone is back early, and she is not happy with what she sees. She was supposed to be meeting a count, but she got bored. Now she's staring down the entire group. She wants to know why Clycie is being carried around by a total stranger. To her, this looks absolutely pathetic. She doesn't stop there. She tells Clycie to get down and stop acting like her leg is actually broken. Then she goes for the low blow. She asks if Clycie has forgotten her dignity just because a man is finally holding her. It's a cruel insult. meant to humiliate, but before she can say another word, someone grabs her. Dernick has seen enough. Clacy is furious. She demands to know who this man thinks he is, grabbing her hand. In public like this, she's ready to tear into him, but the words die in her throat. Dernick is staring at her like he's seen a ghost. He whispers a name, Sister Marie. The anger vanishes instantly. Clacy is frozen. How does this stranger know her mother? The tension in the air completely shifts. Dernick realizes his mistake. There's no way she could be Marie, but the resemblance is undeniable. She has to be Marie's daughter. He says the full name, Marie Colossi Amayul. His voice goes soft as he explains, that woman wasn't just someone he knew, she was the one who saved his life. Clacy is completely thrown off guard. This man was just shouting at her, and now he's actually crying. She can't believe her mother was his benefactor. Dernick is ready to spill everything. He starts to explain what happened 10 years ago. He's finally found a piece of his past, but Jishin has zero patience for a reunion. He cuts him off without a second thought. He doesn't care about memory lane. He just wants to move. Dernick decides to stay and catch up with his hero's daughter, but Clacy isn't letting the others walk away so easily. She's still fixated on the shame of the situation. She chases after them, screaming for Clacy to stop being a burden. She demands she get down immediately. She reaches out to grab them, and she isn't letting go. Jishin has heard enough of the insults. He shuts Clacy down with total authority. He makes it clear she isn't a burden. He's the one who offered to carry her in the first place. He doesn't care about the drama. He just wants to know if they can finally be on their way. He's done wasting time on these petty arguments. Clacy is left fuming in silence. Dernick is more than happy to let them go. He's got his own reasons to stay. He's got a million questions for the daughter of the woman who saved him. Now that the noise has finally died down, Clacy is starting to feel the heat. She tries to focus on her missing ID card, just to have something to say, but Jishin is way too close. He just wants to know which way to go. She can barely think with him holding her like this. She points the way to the house, but the real trouble is just beginning. They finally reach the bedroom door. Clacy tries to end the encounter right here. She tells him she can handle the rest alone, but Jishin is being a little too helpful. He offers to go in and find the card for her. Clacy panics. She claims it's hidden in a very inconvenient spot. She begs him to just wait outside for a moment. She promises to be back in 10 minutes. Jishin finally gives in and agrees to wait. She bolts inside and slams the door. Safe behind the wood, she repeats his name, Jishin Hyad. She's never met anyone like him. He's a gentleman, and he's handsome, but that's not what worries her. Most men lose their heads around someone like Marone, but Jishin didn't even blink. He's completely unshakable, and that makes him the most dangerous man she's ever encountered. Jishin doesn't care what anyone thinks. He makes it clear she isn't a burden. He's the one who offered to help, so he's taking full responsibility. Clacy can't get his words out of her head. She realizes just how important he is. The vice commander of the palace guard, a man that busy, doesn't just wander into her life. If it weren't for this disaster, they never would have even met. And once this is all over, she'll probably never see him again. He's a world away from her reality. She slips into a secret room to find her ID. She's relieved it's exactly where she left it hidden. If Marone had found this first, she would have used it. She would have pretended to be the hero just to get close to him. Clacy holds the card, knowing this might be her only chance to stay in his orbit. Clacy decides to stop playing it safe. She knows she'll never get another chance like this. She has absolutely nothing to lose. By taking a risk, she pulls out the stationery and picks up her pen. It's been years since she's had a reason to write a letter. Not since she lost her first love. She stares at the blank page, trying to find the right words. She starts simply, "Hello, Sir Jishin." She pours her thoughts onto paper while he waits just outside. She finishes the note and hides it away quickly. She can't keep a man like him waiting forever. She opens the door and tells him she's ready. It's time to take her leave, but she's carrying more than just her ID card now. She's carrying a secret that could change everything. Clacy tries to keep the moment going a bit longer. She offers him tea, since he came all this way, but Jishin is strictly professional. He shuts her down immediately. It's late and his men are waiting nearby. His subordinate Dernick thinks he's being way too cold. He wonders why he didn't get an invitation too. Clicey doesn't have time for him. She tells him to go find tea with Marone. Dernick notices the way she speaks to Jishin is completely different. He calls her a weapons dealer, but Jishin stops him right there. He demands that Dernick use her proper title, Lady Clicey. Jishin apologizes for all the trouble and says goodbye, but as they walk away, a new voice cuts through the quiet evening air. Someone knows her. They call her Sister Marie's daughter. Clicey freezes. Her secret past might be catching up to her faster than expected. Clicey gets a total jump scare. Clicey was lurking in the shadows, waiting for her. She wants to know exactly what happened with Jishin. Clicey plays it completely cool. She claims she was only there to return his missing ID card. Then she flips the interrogation around. She wants to know why Clicey was talking to the silver-haired guy. Clicey's mood shifts instantly at the mention of Dernick. She claims they only talked about their mother, but when Clicey pushes for more, Clicey snaps. She tells her to stop prying into her business. She storms off without another word. Clicey is left standing alone in the fading light. She knows her sister is hiding something big. What could Dernick possibly know about their mother? The secrets in this family are starting to bleed into the open. Dernick is convinced this is destiny. He can't believe he found his benefactor's daughter in a place like this. But Jishin is only thinking about the mission. He wants to know if Dernick found any clues while they talked. Dernick admits he came up empty. Clicey was too distracted by Jishin to even focus on the conversation. He couldn't even mention the keepsakes. He asks if Jishin got his ID card back. Jishin says yes, but his mind seems elsewhere. That's when Dernick spots something hidden. There's a cute pink note tucked inside the wallet. Dernick starts teasing him instantly. He knows exactly who wrote it. He's dying to know what the weapons dealer said. He begs Jishin to let him read the letter, but Jishin isn't sharing this secret. Jishin finally opens the pink note. It's a letter from Clicey herself. She starts by apologizing for all the trouble today. She thanks him for catching her at the window and for carrying her all the way to her room. She even offers to buy him a thank you meal. She wants to meet at a place called Rocher. Dernick can't believe what he's reading. He thinks Jishin is a total lady killer. He asks if Jishin is actually going to go. Jishin doesn't even blink at the question. He thinks the answer is obvious. Without a word, he tosses the letter away. It flutters out into the wind behind the carriage. He's not interested in her games. But is he really done with the weapons dealer? Or did he just throw away his only lead? Jishin watches the road ahead. He doesn't have time for distractions. The invitation meant nothing to him. He dismisses the entire idea with two cold words, as if he's not here to play house. He's a commander on a mission, and Clicey just found out exactly where she stands. The game is only getting started. The morning peace just went out the window. Clicey walks into a total disaster zone. Anna drops the news. Clicey is heading out to meet that commander, the rude one with the red hair. Clicey can't believe it. She finds Marone getting all dressed up. Auntie, have you lost your mind? She's judging everything. The pink ribbon, the desperate look. It's embarrassing for a grown niece to see. But Marone doesn't even flinch. You sure are nosy about other people's business. The claws are out, and this meeting hasn't even started yet. Clicey is doubling down. She claims she's only acting like this because she's worried that man is just going to laugh at you. But Marone isn't buying the drama. She knows him better than Clicey thinks. If he were that cruel, she never would have asked him out. Clicey thinks her aunt is totally delusional. Listen to me, men are all the same. You just haven't been in a real relationship yet. That was the limit. Marone has heard enough from her little niece. She stands her ground and flips the script. Are you really the one to be giving advice? You can't even explain what happened with that silver-haired guy. Weren't you the one acting like a stranger? Now the room is suddenly very quiet. Clicey is scrambling. She insists that moment didn't mean anything. He just kept talking about his mother. It was honestly boring. But Marone sees right through the excuses. She thinks the guy is just plain weird. Who starts crying in front of a woman he just met? That's the only reason he's even on her mind. And just like that, Marone is done talking. She heads for the door, leaving Clacy behind. There's no time to waste. She calls out to Redon to get the carriage moving. The poor guy is confused. He thought he heard her voice from elsewhere. But Marone isn't in the mood for questions. Forget it and just go. Hurry up. She's in a rush to get somewhere. And whatever she's planning, it's starting right now. Marone finally arrives at the meeting spot. The bell rings. As she steps inside, the waiter greets her with a polite smile. Is it just for one? Oh, no. Make that two. Someone else will be joining me today. She follows him to a quiet table, but as she looks around, the seat across from her is still empty. He doesn't seem to be here yet. I must have arrived way too early. She tries to stay calm. Since there was no rejection letter, everything should be fine. If he's still working, he'll probably be here by the afternoon. She's ready to wait, but the real question is, will he actually show up? For now, I'll just order something and wait. Marone picks an item and places her order. I'll have this, please. But as the hours pass, the light begins to fade. The cafe is crowded now, and the seat across from her is still empty. The waiter returns to check on her. Will that be all? Yes, that will be all. He bows and walks away, but he isn't the only one watching her. The staff are whispering behind her back. She pokes at her cake without really eating it. The silence at the table is getting louder. I must look strange, sitting here all alone, while the world moves on. Is he even coming? I've been sitting here, eating desserts since dawn. Maybe it's time to just head back. Marone looks around at the other tables. Everyone else is laughing. Couples are whispering and sharing moments. But it's okay. I'm used to being rejected. I wrote that letter, thinking I had nothing to lose anyway. I'm the one who contacted him out of the blue. I'm the one who actually expected a reply. But still, she watches the happy faces across the room. It feels a little lonely. Maybe I should just finish this last bite and finally go home. She's putting up a front, but the empty chair says everything. Is this really how it's going to end? Just as she's about to give up, the sound of footsteps echoes through the cafe. A voice breaks the silence. Sorry for the delay. I had some business to take care of. Marone freezes. That isn't the voice she was waiting for. May I sit? She looks up, and there he is. Dernick is standing there with a perfect smile. Hello there, Miss Weapons Dealer. Marone can't even move. What are you doing here? She was waiting for a commander, but a nobleman just walked in and called her out by her secret title. The game just changed, and Marone is completely off guard. While Marone is waiting, Jishin hasn't even left his desk. An off-screen voice breaks his focus. Are you really not going? Jishin doesn't even look up from his papers. You aren't a guard, yet you're always here. This isn't your living room, Dernick. Dernick just leans back on the sofa. Don't you have anything better to do? I have plenty to do, but my curiosity comes first right now. Dernick isn't letting this go easily. Stop changing the subject. That appointment time passed a long time ago. Are you really going to stand her up without even a word? That's not right, is it? Jishin finally stops, but his answer is colder than expected. Marriage, dating, it's all just a hassle. He isn't just late. He never intended to show up at all. But if Jishin is here, then who exactly is sitting with Marone? Jishin has his reasons for being so cold. Even if I reject them nicely, they always find a way to misunderstand. People just love to gossip about my replies. I'd rather just avoid the unnecessary scandals. Dernick just sighs. My, how cold. Poor Miss Weapons Dealer has no idea. She'll be sitting there, waiting for a long time. She really has her heart set on you showing up. Jishin stays silent. He doesn't look guilty. He just looks finished with the conversation. But Dernick isn't done. He leans in close with a sharp smile. Then, Jishin, instead of you, would it be all right if I went? The mystery is solved. Dernick didn't just happen to be there. He asked for permission to take Jishin's place. But why is a nobleman so interested in a weapons dealer? The real game is just beginning. The noble finally makes his move. Dernick greets Marone like they are old friends, but she is not having it. How did he track her here? She thinks he read her letter. He says he only heard what was inside of it. Then he notices the plates. She has been eating a lot. Does he have a problem with her huge appetite? The small talk is over. Dernick is getting to the point. He is here for one thing, the weapons dealer. Dernick drops the news. Jishin is not coming today. Marone already knew that. It is impossible to miss. Dernick asks if she is okay. She is not fine, but she has no time to be hurt by this. She wonders if he came just to check on her. Dernick plays along. He thinks he is being kind. But kindness has a price. He did her a favor. Now he wants one back. The trap is finally set. Dernick finally asks for that promised favor. He says it is easy. He wants to meet Marie's daughter again. He needs Marone to set the whole thing up. Marone cannot believe it. He wants her to play matchmaker for herself? Dernick is already moving. He even sent flowers to her house already. Marone is losing her patience. She just got dumped, and he wants a date? She tells him to just go there himself, but the noble claims he is way too shy. The act is not working. Marone says she is used to this attention. Dernick tries one more time. He hides his face and claims he is shy. But Marone is done. She stands up abruptly. That shy routine is just a pathetic excuse. She knows the truth. He is only here because of her business. She tells him to figure it out alone. Dernick tries to stop her. He calls out to the weapons dealer. That is the final straw. She turns back around. Her name is not a business title. It is Clycie Colossi. The mask is finally off. Clycie says her goodbyes. She leaves Dernick alone at the empty table. The night has fallen, but there is no peace waiting for her at home. Clycie is already there. She demands an apology. She is still angry about this morning's stunt, but Clycie is done talking. She is too tired for any more drama. Clycie catches the mood. She knows something is wrong. The meeting was a failure. Then the realization hits. Clycie got stood up. The silence says it all. Tomorrow is going to be a long day. Clycie isn't holding back. She says this is exactly what Clycie deserves. At least no one saw that tacky ribbon. Clycie just wants to be left alone. She tells her to think whatever she wants, but as she heads up the stairs, Clycie suddenly grabs her. She pulls her into a tight hug. It is okay, Auntie. You still have me. Even if you stay alone forever, I will look after you. Clycie isn't so sure about that offer. Is that supposed to be a consolation? Clycie thinks so. A cute niece is better than a jerk who stands you up, but the night is far from over. Clycie pushes her away. She repeats that she is just too tired. She leaves Clycie behind and retreats to her room. Finally, she is alone. She lets out a long, heavy sigh. I really have no luck with men. Is it because I became too materialistic? She opens a drawer and pulls out a hidden piece of paper. I wasn't like this when I was younger. She looks at it and remembers a boy. She didn't even know his name or family. But back then, their feelings were pure. It was a time before business and titles, but memories can't change the mess she is in. Clycie stares at the letter. I wonder how he is doing. My very first love. She is lost in the past. But downstairs, the mood is much colder. Clycie thinks her aunt doesn't understand anything. She should just rely on me. Clycie doesn't hold back. No man in this city would ever want her. She looks for backup from the maid, Karen. Karen plays along. She says Lady Clycie is allowed to dream, but Clycie calls her a fool. Dreaming is what makes her look so pathetic. She ran out all excited, just to get stood up. A handsome face is useless. What matters is the truth, and the truth is about to get worse. Clycie has someone else on her mind. If we are talking looks, that man is much better. He is a real romantic. Suddenly, Karen stops her. She forgot to mention a delivery from earlier. A massive basket of flowers is brought forward. Clycie is caught off guard. Who would send these? Karen says there was no name on the card, but the messenger described a silver-haired gentleman. Clycie knows exactly who that means. That man? She leans into smell the blooms. They are beautiful. He is more of a romantic than I thought. The game just got a lot more interesting. Clycie has a plan. She calls for Karen. Send this flower basket to the guard station. Karen is completely stunned. But my lady, that would be like publicly rejecting him. Clycie doesn't blink. I know. She has it all figured out in her head. He was with guards, so he must be there. Since I have no address, I'll send them back. The gift wasn't bad, but I need to show him I'm not an easy woman. I won't just fall for a few flowers. She is playing a very dangerous game. The flowers are gone. Now, the next move belongs to him. The flowers finally arrive at the guard station, but they didn't go to the man she expected. Instead, they are sitting right in front of Jishin. The cold vice commander stares at the bright blooms. He has no idea why these are here. What is this? He is definitely not the romantic type. Clycie's little power move just hit the wrong target, and Jishin is not going to be happy. The real trouble is only just starting. A massive flower basket just showed up, but Jishin isn't the one giving it. He stops Phil's to demand answers. What is this? doing in my office? Phils tries to play it cool. It's nothing much, Vice Captain, just a return delivery. Jishin is completely lost. Return to me? What are you talking about? Phils can't believe he has to say it. It's the basket you sent to the lady at the Blue Roof House. The gift didn't just fail, it came back with a message. Phils can't keep the secret anymore. Because of those flowers, everyone is talking. The rumor is spreading like wildfire among the guards. The vice captain got rejected. Jishin is stunned. What did you just say? Meanwhile, things are quiet at dinner. Klesa breaks the silence to ask her aunt a simple question. That man's name was Jishin, right? Marone stops mid-bite. She acts like she doesn't know who Klesa means. You know, the one who showed up at our house. The man who just became the talk of the town. Marone can't believe what she's hearing. He sent me a flower basket? Klesa is just as confused. Wait, Sir Jishin? Not Dernick? Yeah, it's him. He didn't even write a name, probably out of pure embarrassment. But when Marone sent them back, the guards confirmed the truth. It was Jishin. Something is wrong. Dernick's flowers completely vanished, and somehow, Jishin's gift ended up with me? None of this makes any sense. Before she can piece it together, a knock at the door breaks the tension. Anna looks pale as she enters. Miss Klesa? She needs to talk in private. Could you step outside for a moment? Marone is caught off guard. Me? Whatever Anna has to say, it can't be good. This is strange. Florence is away on a trip. I don't have any other friends, so who could possibly be here looking for me? Marone steps outside to find the last person she expected. Sir Jishin? She can barely get the words out. What are you doing at my house? Jishin doesn't beat around the bush. I came here to ask you on a date. A date? Marone's mind completely stops. She thinks she must have misheard him. But Jishin isn't joking. I want to go on a date with you, Miss Klesa. He looks her right in the eye. Are you available? Marone is spiraling. How did things escalate this fast? 1 minute she's at the door, the next, she's in a carriage. What kind of situation is this? She's sitting across from Jishin, all dressed up and looking perfect. I really have no pride. Just yesterday, this man stood her up completely, and yet, here she is again. He must think I'm so strange. This is beyond embarrassing. She tries to convince herself the flowers were just a mistake, a huge misunderstanding, because why else would he be asking her out? The silence in the carriage is suffocating. Then, Jishin finally speaks. I'm sorry about what happened that time. Marone freezes. Is he actually going to explain? Marone can't believe her ears. Pardon? Jishin actually looks regretful. He's apologizing for being rude and breaking their last appointment. So he actually cared about standing me up? She didn't think a man like him would give it a second thought. Suddenly, the carriage hits a massive bump. The whole world tilts sideways. Marone loses her balance completely. Jishin moves before she can fall. Are you all right? He catches her, steadying her against the seat. Marone is fine, but the carriage is cramped. The road is rough, and now their knees are touching. The contact sends her brain into total overdrive. She needs to say something, anything. Anyway, the weather is really nice today. The sky is just so clear. She's rambling just to stop the silence. Jishin just looks at her. Indeed, the apology was one thing, but this closeness? This is way more dangerous. Jishin looks out at the passing view. It really is a perfect day. The carriage finally comes to a halt. He steps out first and reaches back, offering his hand to help her down. Have you eaten? Marone's stomach is actually full. She just finished a meal earlier, but she can't exactly say that. Not when he's looking at her like this. No, I was just getting hungry. She's lying through her teeth just to keep this moment going. Jishin doesn't suspect a thing. Then let's eat first. He knows a place nearby called Roses. Shall we go? Marone takes his hand. Yes, sounds good. She's already full, but for a chance to stay by his side, she'll find room for a second lunch. She actually did it. Marone finished the entire meal. Even the waiters are impressed. Isn't that the big eater from the other day? Her reputation is officially ruined. By the time they leave, the sun is already setting. Marone is struggling just to breathe. I feel like My stomach is going to burst. She's paying the price for that little white lie. Jishin looks over. Shall we take a walk? Yes, please, anything to help. This digestion. The streets are packed with people. It's a sea of moving bodies. Marone is stumbling, trying to keep her balance while clutching her stomach. Suddenly, Jishin steps closer. It's crowded, so hold on. He's not just walking with her, he's shielding her. Marone looks up, and for a second, she forgets how full she is. Her stomach hurts, but her heart is doing something completely different. Yes. She reaches out, and suddenly, the crowd doesn't feel so overwhelming anymore. Thank you. Marone takes his arm. As they walk under the streetlights, his arm is firm. Where it touches mine, being this close, I can feel it even more. That cool scent, that resembles Sir Jishin. She's noticing everything now, the way he moves, the way he smells. I like it. They aren't talking much, but just hearing each other's footsteps. Like this feels nice. The silence isn't awkward anymore. It's comfortable. Suddenly, Jishin breaks the quiet. Is your leg all right now? Marone stops for a split second. Ah, yes. She looks up at him, stunned. You remembered. He's been acting cold and distant, but he never stopped paying attention. He remembered a detail she thought he'd long forgotten. I only mentioned it in passing. I didn't think you'd remember. Marone is stunned. She thought she was just another face in his busy life. But Jishin has a simple explanation. Because of my profession, I don't easily forget things I hear. He makes it sound like a job requirement, like he's just following protocol. Marone doesn't say a word. She just grips his arm a little bit tighter. I don't know much about Sir Jishin. We haven't known each other long. Maybe I'm just fooling myself. She's questioning everything. Is this real? Or is she just chasing a dream? But as she looks at him, the doubt fades. I still like Sir Jishin. It's a quiet realization, but it changes everything. The moment is perfect until Jishin looks at the time. Shall we head back now? Already? The words slip out before she can stop them. She isn't ready for the night to end yet, but she catches herself and nods. Ah, shall we? The walk back feels much shorter than the walk here. The sound of their footsteps fills the air, but for Marone, the silence is getting too heavy. I thought dates were supposed to last all day. She's looking at the fading light, feeling like the clock is moving way too fast. We didn't even spend half a day together. She's fighting with herself now. Should I ask to stay longer? She takes a breath and finally finds her voice. Sir Jishin. He doesn't stop, but he's listening. Well, it's still early. She's stumbling over her words, trying to sound casual. I don't mind going back late. If you're all right with it, maybe we could stay a bit longer. It's a huge risk for her. She's putting her heart on the line, but Jishin doesn't even hesitate. That won't be necessary. The words are cold and final. He doesn't even look back. Marone stops dead in her tracks. She's left standing there in the middle of the street while he just keeps walking. The distance between them is growing, and this time, it's not just about the walk. Jishin doesn't even look at her. He just stands by the door with a cold look in his eyes. This should settle the debt. Marone can't believe what she's hearing. The romantic walk, the closeness, it was all just a calculation to him. Pardon? She's searching for a different meaning, but Jishin is brutally clear. I've gone on a date with you. Isn't that what you wanted from me? He's treating their time together like a bill he just paid off. So now, his gaze sharpens. The mask of the polite commander is completely gone. I'd like you to stop spreading baseless rumors. He isn't asking, he's giving an order. Miss Clessy. He says her name like a warning. The date wasn't a beginning. It was his way of making sure she never bothers him again. Jishin wants the baseless rumors to stop now. Clessy can't believe what she's hearing. He knows she sent those flowers back. Now the entire guard is gossiping about him. They think he was the one who got dumped. He'll apologize for breaking their appointment, but he won't overlook her trying to get even. He thinks she fabricated the whole story. He opens the door and tells her to get in. He's taking another carriage. This is officially over. Jishin watches the carriage fade into the sunset. He's left standing alone with his own mistakes. Dernick can't stop laughing at the entire situation. Marone mistook the commander for a palace guard. That's why those flowers were sent back. Jishin targeted the wrong woman for no reason. He even tried to give her a warning. Dernik calls it a truly foolish move. Jishin sits in silence, hiding his own face. He admits he bought a bouquet and letter. He's actually trying to apologize for the mess. Dernik finds it amusing. The stone-hearted commander is finally flustered by someone. This is a side he's never shown before. Jishin stands up abruptly. He decides he must apologize in person. Dernik sees an opening and offers to join. He claims he bears some of the responsibility. He forgot to write the sender's name down. He suggests they go and explain it together. Jishin doesn't put up much of a fight. He tells the man to do as he likes. Now I can naturally meet Miss Marone. Am I a genius? Dernik is thrilled with his own cleverness. Jishin is just trying to fix his mistake, but this apology is about to get complicated. Clycie wakes up feeling surprisingly refreshed today. Dozens of failed romances have taught her something. She's finally gained some skill in moving on. A good night's sleep was all she needed. It's time to forget about the past. There are plenty of other men in town. My inheritance isn't going anywhere just yet. There is no rush. She heads out to grab some breakfast, but Anna stops her right at the door. The maid is wearing a very strange look. She thinks the date went incredibly well. She's practically glowing with excitement for her mistress. Wait, what? Anna tells her to take a look at what just arrived. A massive bouquet arrived for Clycie last night. She can't believe her eyes. Is this really from the cold Commander Jishin? Anna confirms the news with a huge smile. There's even a letter waiting to be read. Clycie opens the note and finds an apology. He admits there was a major misunderstanding. He's even offering to be publicly rejected again. He wants to protect her honor this time. He must have heard the truth from Dernik. If only he had understood from the start, he wouldn't have been so cold yesterday, and he wouldn't have needed to send flowers. She looks at the beautiful arrangement in silence. It's a shame such a lovely gift came from such a mess. Clycie snatches the letter right out of Marone's hand. She's curious about what her niece is hiding. Marone is instantly on edge. She demands to know why her aunt is snooping through her things. Clycie just laughs it off. Is there something here I shouldn't see? Marone isn't in the mood for any jokes. She needs that letter back right this second. But Clycie's expression suddenly turns very serious. She wants the truth about what happened yesterday. Did that man treat you rudely, Marone? Marone can't even look her in the eye. She claims it was just a small misunderstanding. It's nothing serious. But her hands tell a completely different story. She's holding those flowers with a crushing grip. She's clearly not as fine as she claims. Clycie isn't interested in an apology through flowers. She lifts the bouquet and slams it down. She starts tearing the petals apart in a rage. Marone can only watch in absolute shock. She screams at Clycie to stop this madness. Has she completely lost her mind right now? But Clycie isn't stopping. She says he deserves to pay for the way he treated her. He even admitted he was wrong in writing. Marone desperately calls for Anna to take the flowers back to the guard. She wants this mess out of the house. But Clycie won't let the maid move an inch. She tells Marone to finally wake up and see the truth here. A bunch of flowers doesn't change the past. He's just trying to buy his way out of a massive mistake. Clycie warns her that liking him only brings pain. But Marone has finally had enough of the lectures. She snaps back at her aunt. Whose fault is this really? This mess only happened because you made assumptions. You ruined everything alone. Marone grabs the broken flowers and bolts away. Clycie calls out to her, but she isn't looking back. She's done being the victim. Being stood up by someone I like was hard, but being misunderstood by my family feels even worse. It's honestly just not fair. She looks at the shattered bouquet in her arms. I can't send this back in such a ruined state. I won't let more misunderstandings pile up today. She rushes out the door, determined to fix this, but she stops dead when she sees who's waiting. Jishin is standing right there, the one person she wasn't ready to face. Marone can't believe her eyes. She calls out to Jishin, completely caught off guard. He's standing right there, looking as cold as ever. She tries to find the right words to say, but her voice fails her. She's standing there holding his gift in pieces. I'm absolutely doomed. The flowers are a mess. Petals are crushed and stems are snapped in half. There's no way to explain this away now. Jishin is standing right there. Clycie can't believe her eyes. What is he doing here at this hour? She tries to hide the ruined bouquet. It's all a misunderstanding. She claims it was just a little accident. But Jishin isn't angry. He actually looks relieved. If this mess helped her feel any better, then he's satisfied. He lowers his head in a formal apology. He's sorry for how He treated her yesterday. The cold commander is actually asking for forgiveness. What is he really planning this time? Jishin is trying to be nice. He says the flowers weren't enough. He came to apologize to Clicey in person, but the peace doesn't last. Marone storms into the room. She's absolutely furious. How dare Clicey show her face here? Marone isn't holding back. She demands to know what happened yesterday. Her aunt was in tears after talking to Clicey. She lunges forward. Was insulting her once not enough for you? She's ready to make Clicey pay for it. Suddenly, someone grabs her. It's Dernick. He's stepped in to stop the fight. He's smiling, but his timing is perfect. He has a message for everyone in the room. What does he know that they don't? Dernick has a confession. He isn't who she thinks. His name isn't Jishin. It's actually Dernick. He points to the man standing right behind him. That's the real Jishin, the commander she was actually looking for. Marie is completely lost. Everything she thought was true just crumbled. She's been talking to the wrong person. Dernick lays it all out. She mistook him for a simple guard. She even gave the flowers to the wrong man. The embarrassment is real. She's been pouring her heart out to a stranger. How is she supposed to face the real Jishin now? Marie is caught. The truth is out, and she's scrambling for an excuse. So what if she got the names wrong? She tries to pivot. She claims the real issue is how her aunt was treated. She points the finger right at Clicey. She's trying to turn the tables to save face, but Clicey isn't the one she should be worried about. Dernick leans in close. He has a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. He reminds her that this whole mess is actually her fault. Since she started this, she needs to step back. He's not asking, he's telling her to stay out of his way. What is he going to do if she refuses? The chaos finally settles. Dernick decides it's time to give them some space. He takes Marone away so the two of them can talk in peace. Now it's just Jishin and Clicey. The room is quiet, but the tension hasn't gone anywhere. Jishin breaks the silence. He asks her to take a walk with him. He needs to say what couldn't be said in front of the others. They walk together through the gardens. It's the first time they've been alone since the mess started. Jishin doesn't waste time. He brings up that day he's truly sorry for the misunderstanding. He mentions the flowers from his letter again. He tells her she can just return them to the guard unit. He's trying to make things right, but is an apology enough to fix what was broken? The flowers are ruined. Clicey is worried that returning them like this will make Jishin look even worse than before. But Jishin doesn't care. He's already accepted it. Then Clicey admits something unexpected. She never actually intended to return those flowers at all. Jishin is confused. Noble ladies are supposed to care about honor above everything else. Why would she risk her reputation? Clicey has her reasons. Honor is important, but she doesn't believe in humiliating someone just to protect it. She'd rather be kind than be right. Jishin looks at her. He sees someone completely different now. The misunderstandings are finally fading away. He has one more request for her. If this is still weighing on her mind, he wants a redo. He asks her out. A real date, just the two of them. No more lies, and no more mistakes. How can she possibly say no to that? Jishin isn't finished. He mentions that his shift today doesn't end until 10 tonight. He knows it's late, but he has a plan. Clicey can hardly believe what she's hearing right now. There's a cafe he always visits. After working overtime, he was already planning to go. On his way home, he turns to her with a simple question. He wants to know if she'll come along with him. It's not a formal, noble event. It's just a late night coffee together. Clicey doesn't even have to think. She tells him she'd love to go. The tension is gone. For the first time, they're finally on the same page. The night is quiet. They arrive at a hidden little cafe. Clicey is amazed by how cozy it is. She never expected a place like this to exist here. Jishin watches her. He asks if she actually likes the place. When she says yes, he finally relaxes. He admits he was a bit worried. It's late at night, and he didn't want to waste her time on something boring. Clicey is stunned. He's being so incredibly thoughtful. He offers to sit wherever she prefers, but Clicey tells him anywhere is fine, as long as he's comfortable too. She can't help but think to herself, this side of him is so unexpected. She always thought his blunt personality was his charm, but this kindness? It's even better. Seeing this soft side is dangerous for her. If things keep going this well today, maybe they actually have a real chance. Jishin starts asking about her family. He knows the Kalashi have bloodlines from the demon realm. Clicey confirms it. feeling a bit hopeful. He even knows about their long history. In Green Gol City, Clicey is thrilled. He must be really interested in her to know all this. But then the tone shifts completely. Jishin mentions that her parents have several other children, so he wants to know one specific thing. Why did she come to the capital with only her nephew? Clicey's hand jerks. The mood in the room just turned ice cold. He isn't just talking, he's digging for secrets. Something is wrong. This isn't just casual interest. He knows way too much. Her family isn't famous enough for a capital guard to know these specific details. She wonders if he investigated her as a palace guard. He definitely has the power to. But there's a darker possibility. Maybe he's heard that specific rumor. Maybe this whole night is just a test. Jishin calls her name. The sound snaps her back to reality. She quickly apologizes, claiming she was just lost in thought. Jishin tells her not to overthink it, but he doesn't stop there. Clicey tries to keep it vague. She says she moved because of some private circumstances. It's no big deal. Jishin listens. He accepts the answer, but then he leans in closer. He wants to know exactly what happened. Back home, the trap is set. The interrogation is cut short. Dernick suddenly appears right at their table. Clicey can't believe it. She demands to know why he's even here. Dernick plays it off. He claims he just happened to pass by and saw them inside. What a coincidence, right? He asks to join them, but Clicey isn't buying the act. He definitely followed them on purpose. She shuts him down. She tells him no, because she and Jishin are actually on a date. Dernick just smiles. That makes him want to stay even more. He leans in close. He whispers that he has to join now, because he knows Clicey's biggest secret. The game just changed. Dernick isn't playing around anymore. He makes it crystal clear. If he feels left out tonight, he might just have to tell Jishin everything he knows. He asks her again, is she still going to refuse? Clicey is trapped. One wrong move, and her entire life could fall apart. She has no choice. She has to let the enemy sit down.